Hi, how's it going? My name is Puzzle, and you're watching Media Spotlight UK.
You're a crumbling superpower, a stranger in my eyes. Used to turn to you for shelter from the fury of the skies.
This is Media Spotlight UK. I'm your host, Billz, and I'm sitting here with a guy that has a lot of layers to figure out who this person is. And if you don't get that idea, I'm going to introduce you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you an artist named Puzzle. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm very well. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have you. Now, from the get-go, I got to ask about your name because I've never heard of an artist that is as unique as that. Because when I think of puzzle, everyone thinks of the jigsaw puzzle. Like, you put all pieces together to make it whole. And with that, it seems like from before even getting into your music, it's kind of like the idea about you as a person. So it sounds like a generic question, but tell us how you got to the artist name being Puzzle. Where, like, I want to know about you. So how'd you get to that?
It all started with me trying to figure out, why I make music, and I didn't want to use my name just because I thought, I want something that means something to people. Although puzzle is a bit of a generic word, the reason why I got into puzzle was ask myself, why do I make music, like I said, and it was to figure out, I guess, not existence itself, but the human condition, or my condition as a human being. And it made me think that we're made of all of these things, like our fears, our secrets, our desires, our passions.
So it's just like these undertones of us being humans.
Totally, yeah, and we are made of all of these things, and we are all different, and these pieces, they change and they move, but ultimately we're trying to figure out what the picture is. Okay. So I think as humans we are puzzles, and that's where it comes from. Because
I guess, like, for humans, like, we're always a mystery. Like, it's always trying to figure the person out, whether even if you don't know the person, it's like, so what do I get the vibe from this guy? What do I figure out for this guy or this girl? It's just like figuring things out over time. So what I want to find out is that your videos are so unique. Like, from every single artist I see, it's always normal. Like, you see the person, but a lot of yours are digitized, where it's always like a mystery to figure out what the videos are about. Like, for example, the only person I can think of in terms of uniqueness that presents itself in a different way to me was Lady Gaga.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like, with all the mysterious clothes, and obviously the most impactful to me was when she had all that bacon as a costume. Yeah. And in your case, it's like you got all these different features, these different parts to you and stuff like that. So how do you feel about that comparison, first of all?
Well, I have a lot of respect for Lady Gaga. I think she's an incredible artist, and whether people like it or hate her, she's a driven woman and extremely talented.
Very.
So I mean, that's such a compliment. I have a lot of love for her. But my stuff, for me, is about everything is about entertainment, but also escapism. So I'm always trying to paint a picture and create a world for people to step into, that they can delve into. So and I'm a huge fan of video games.
Oh, really? Okay. I've got to go into this with you because I was a huge fan of video games back in the day. What was your favorite video game that you was playing back in the day?
Well, I used to have a Master System. I had an Atari as well.
I had both. The first system I had was an Atari. The annoyance of having to put the tape in, and when the game was finished, you had to change the tape around to continue the game. It's mad.
But there was something magic about the whole analog aspect of it. Kind of, I don't know. I just remember having my Master System and playing Alex Kidd and
Okay.
And I used to. It was a dream to have one, and once I had one, I'm like. It was, I could just sort of turn everything off and just be in it, and just be in there, and kind of that world became my world. So I guess that's what I try to do with the videos and the music. So the videos are a representation of, the imagery I'm trying to create in the music, and I just, it is a world in constant motion, basically.
Yeah.
So
it seems like with for, what you're saying about your life is that you're always in a part of escapism. With video games, you're escaping into that world. And translates into your music, where it's like escapism and translation of us humans as a disconnect. But with your new EP Babylon,
Mm-hmm.
which you have Little Black Book as one of your singles, like you said, and I quote, the EP is a commentary of human interactions, both emotionally and physically, in a digital age. Through these two characters, I tell a story of how digital over physical is changing the way we deal with each other. Now, the first thing I think about is social media, because we all use it. Let's be real.
Absolutely,
like I
yeah.
use Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, everything. We're in this world now that it's a part of our lives. So, to you, like, do you feel like us humans, we're in a full disconnect in terms of we're relying on social media as opposed to just living life, interacting with humans as we should really be?
Yeah, it's funny that, you know, the more connected we become, the less connected with each other we actually are. You know, even when you go to a party, a lot of people are actually more interested in what is happening on Instagram than
That's
having
true.
an actual conversation. And even, you know, I mean, I've never really been to a situation where everyone goes, do you know what, let's just turn our phones off, let's just be here for 2 hours. You know, but connectivity has created so many opportunities for us. You know, I'm a child of the globalized world. I grew up, you know, watching videos and seeing things that I wanted to experience. And, you know, one of the reasons why I moved to London many years ago was because of that, because I had access to information. But it's, yeah.
Sorry to cut you, but when did you move to London? Because you were born in Brazil.
I was born in
right?
Brazil, yeah. So I've been in London for over like 12 years. So
Okay.
quite a while ago. But, you know, just seeing, and I was exposed to the internet quite early on, but seeing what the world had to offer kind of pushed me into wanting things, you know. So connectivity in that sense is very valuable. But then when we start losing our, you know, contact as humans, I think that's when it becomes dangerous.
A bit scary, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what the future holds, but I think
Yeah.
it's you know, we have to watch out for that, because that's definitely diluting relationships. The problem is that the image that everyone's trying to portray online is not necessarily who you are on a real environment, and I think that is part of the problem. And the other thing you just mentioned, which is, you know, we care so much about who likes our statuses and whatever we do. And I was thinking the other day, you know, every single thing I post, my mum likes, right? But I take,
so does my mum as well.
you know, but I'm like, okay, but I take that
Yeah.
for granted. So I'm more worried about people that don't like me liking my stuff, because it's kind of like validation. They're actually the people that truly love me. And I
Right.
think that, you know, that is part of the problem. You know, we're too worried about people that actually don't really matter.
So in terms of translation, because what I get from it is that, you know, we're literally just numbers. You know, we don't matter. So again, with Little Black Book, what were you trying to gain from that in terms of, is that the idea you was doing in terms of we're only just simply a number and not humans that we need to care for?
I guess, yeah, that's definitely part of it. It was you know, the song was really about how disposable we are becoming as humans, and the whole sort of currency that is sex, and how easy it is to access sex now through, you know, your Tinders and all grinders and all the apps.
I'm guilty of using Tinder, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you.
Well, you know, we've all done and we all do, but that's that is part of, you know, again, modern days dating thing. But you know, very easily it can turn into a situation where, you know, one of the people kind of is invested emotionally, would like to be, and the other one just wants to have a, you know, a booty call. And I think that's definitely, you know, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with, you know, people kind of interacting that way.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know, when someone gets hurt, I think that's the problem. But yeah, it's how disposable we are becoming. I think that's the
Wow, you seem to be a really deep brother, man. I'm telling you, you go so much into different areas of us as humans. But in short, what I wanted to find out is going forward now, because this is your debut EP. Is there a way of an album coming up, or, you know, with the types of music you're doing, is this kind of the avenue you want to take it more, where it's like, you know, I want to make impact in terms of these sort of topics, like I want to go forward with it, or you trying to be more variety where there's different types of music? What's the move forward for you?
I think sonically, I want to become more experimental. That's definitely what I'm heading towards, and incorporate more organic sounds. So kind of live drums, you know, and you know, strings and stuff that's more organic instead of being too synthetic. So maybe, a blend between those two things. But thematically, I guess, I'm exploring. I'm writing, so I'm writing mode right now. Just and things will kind of come together once I have more and more songs, because that's normally how I work. I write a lot of stuff and then I look at what I have and I go, okay, what is making sense here? Because there, can always find clues.
Yeah.
And then that's when I kind of bring everything together, and it feels like So I don't know if it's an album, I don't know if it's an EP, if it's that there is some.
But
more
you're
stuff.
putting in work.
Yeah, absolutely. Now it's writing mode, and hopefully we'll have some more stuff coming out towards the end of the year.
Before we go as well, like your makeup.
Yeah.
I need to talk about that, because I've seen a lot of your Instagram, like you're at these shows and you got different colors, you're doing all these different parts to your face and stuff. Like, what's the meaning behind that? Is it part of the puzzle persona that we're seeing? Yeah,
definitely. It's part, again. I think, for example, when you're doing a show and people coming out to see you, and they're using their spare time to actually invest in seeing someone live, I think they should come to a spectacle. And it's the same thing with the way I present myself. I'm doing something that I want for people to be exposed to, that they don't see in their everyday lives. So and the makeup changes depending on what.
Is it the mood you're in?
Yeah, it's totally.
So what mood have you got today? Because it's like you got white and blue. What's the mood you're in based on that?
I don't know. I just didn't want anything to be too fixed or too structured. So it's kind of it's a bit abstract, it's flexible. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that's the idea behind the makeup.
All right, cool. Well, Puzzle, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you on a great introduction. This is Billz from Media Spotlight UK with the guy named Puzzle. Make sure you check out for it. More stuff in the pipeline, and we're out. Peace.
Superheroes are